Welcome to Make a Change Canada's live extravaganza. Tonight, we will be sharing videos and interviews from people across the country. And we are coming to you live from the Shambhala Music and Performance Hall here in beautiful British Columbia. My name is Jenna Rader, and I will be your host this evening. We have Sandy Baker, who is our interpreter as well. Now, we are going to have so many amazing stories coming to you, and the people that are making a change are doing such great things in other people's lives. If you're already wondering what Make a Change Canada's services are, you can go to their website and check them out at makeachangecanada.com. Or we would also encourage you to donate tonight, as CIBC is going to be matching every donation you give tonight, dollar per dollar. So go to makeachangecanada.com and give generously. We have so many wonderful stories, and it is great excitement that I introduce to you the Executive Director of Make a Change Canada, Anne-Marie Edgar. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Anne-Marie.
Thank you, Jenna.
You have done so much to make this event happen. It's been an incredible amount of work, hasn't it?
It's been a lot of work, but it's taken a lot of volunteers as well.
Excellent.
We've had volunteers working since February of this year from all across the country.
I want to congratulate you on 10 very successful years. And I wonder, what does this night mean to you?
This night to me means, well, first off, it's our 10-year anniversary. So, we really need to celebrate that as an organization. But for me, it means that we also need to take a moment, stop to pause, and really take a look at what people are accomplishing in their lives. It's pretty fantastic. I'm always amazed at what our clients are achieving. And it's about that, but it's also about celebrating partnerships, because people do their best when they're supported, when they're properly supported, and that takes people working together.
Excellent, Anne-Marie. Now, there have been a lot of changes with Make a Change in your time with them, and you've been instrumental in those changes. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. It all began about 5 years ago when we came up with a new mission and vision for the organization. And as part of our mission, it was actually Douglas Tardif, a staff member, we were walking around in Ottawa in the cold, and he said, in our work, we grow alongside our clients. This is a shared journey. And it really came together, and that's really guided us. And I think that over the last 5 years, that's helped to pull us forward. And I've always been checking in with the staff and the board about the direction we're moving in. But that's really cemented things forward, and incredibly, in the last year, we've changed our name. We used to be known as the Canadian Society for Social Development. So we had focus groups, we brought in our clients, our staff, our board of directors, and what we heard was that our organization is a place where people find hope again, and they also feel an awful lot of support. So we wanted a name that would reflect what we do, and we came up with Make a Change Canada. And then also within the last year, we've become accredited under the Imagine Canada Standards Program. And that's a nice achievement for the organization, as only 150 charitable organizations in Canada have met that achievement.
Well, Make a Change Canada is truly living up to its name. Now, I guess it would be interesting for the viewers to have a little history about the organization. Can you tell us where it all started?
Yes, and actually the organization, the programs that the organization now delivers, one of them started within the Community Futures organization here in Nelson, BC. It started just within the local community, and then it was successful. It took off a bit, and then it was piloted all across the province. But what happened was that Community Futures doesn't have a mandate to deliver a program across Canada. So this was recognized, and through that organization, the Canadian Society for Social Development started, and that was now 10 years ago. So that's really how it all began.
Excellent. And I guess I wonder, maybe the viewers would like to know if you could elaborate on your services and who they're available to.
Yeah, we have 2 online programs offered all across Canada. One is an entrepreneurship program, and the other is a web development program. We partner with Selkirk College to deliver the web development program, and it's becoming highly successful and very relevant in today's marketplace as well.
Excellent. Well, Anne-Marie, we're going to see this next video. It's our first one tonight, and it comes from Nova Scotia, from Patrick Jarvis of Ancient Hermit Drums. How did Patrick come to find Make a Change Canada?
Patrick has a very interesting story, and one that really touched me a lot personally. I was involved in documenting his story about 8 years ago, and it's almost sort of changed me in a way and made me a lot more sensitive to people's difficulties. Patrick experienced a back injury, and as a result of that, he went through a period, quite a long period, where he self-medicated with alcohol. And he sank to such a low spot in his life. He was also living in pretty much just a shack. And one day, Patrick saw himself in a mirror on the wall, and he says, "My goodness, I look like an ancient hermit." And there he had a self-revelation. His whole life began to change. From that moment on, he took a positive step forward, never drank again. And at that day, when he gave up drinking, he also discovered his love for drumming, and he wanted to carve a drum. He just had this impulse. And he also started drumming. So he's a wonderful drummer. This video will really show his talent. And yeah, just what a touching story he has.
Excellent. Let's see that video now.
So tell me a little bit about Ancient Hermit Drums and what you're doing today.
Ancient Hermit Drums. The name came from the lifestyle I was living in, somebody's interpretation of my appearance at the time, because I had more or less withdrawn from society and I was living in a little cabin. And because of the lifestyle, I was starting to look really old. So someone said I was living like a hermit and looking real ancient. So when I needed a name from a company, that's where I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a reminder of where I was and where I don't want to go back to.
Right. Uh-huh. So I don't have any idea how you initially found our organization and came to get involved in business abilities.
I had a serious back injury back in the mid-90s. And shortly after I sobered up, I got connected with an organization locally here, the Digby Disability Partnership Committee. And they helped me make some connections because my counselor, when we set up a meeting, I decided, well, I'll just take one of the drums I had made along and show her what I've been doing to keep myself busy. And she said, well, you don't need to go back to school or do this or do that. You've already got your business right there. And then a short while later, she got some information about business abilities. So she passed that on. But at the time, I didn't have a computer yet, so it took a little while to get in and get set up with it. In the meantime, she had helped me make some connections with government agencies, relatively speaking, good. On this day, I'm suffering with bone spur that's decided it's going to become more of a spur on my knee. So kind of hobbling around with that, but other than that, I'm still moving, so it's good. I'm not going hungry. I may not be getting rich, but I'm not going hungry. I've got a great wife. Few good friends. A little gray cat that loves me.
And you don't have any of those, all that darkness and, all that past that's more than 10 years behind you now. That's not a part of your life anymore.
Well, actually, some days there is depression, long term, but I'm not the only one that's in my situation with it. So
What I've learned is that the stress is good because I can feel it come in, and then I don't let it stay, but I have to feel it, and then I make it go away. And that's how I can make good decisions, right? I think it's an interesting way of looking at things, but stress is almost a bit of a tool, because the decisions are really important, with government funding or some employee's livelihood. Can I keep them on? That you feel it. You feel the intensity of the possible implications. So, but I admit that it just depends on the stress. It can get pretty intense. There's a lot of anxiety in our population. So,
yeah,
and it's sad that the children seem to be picking up on this. Some children. So,
yeah.
wow. And what is your native ancestry, if you don't mind me asking? I know you told me in an email once, but
Mi'kmaq.
Micmac.
Yeah. I actually have relatives up on the nearest reservation. We can trace ourselves back to one ancestor. My mother's great-grandfather. And from him, there are people up on the reservation who are related.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also an Acadian.
Acadian.
Because it goes back to on the same side, same lineage in my mother's side.
Well, your business abilities is never a closed door. I'm not here, but I don't think people realize that people are able to return to our program. So I'll just let you know that that if you ever need to amp up, reevaluate, we are always still here. So we're trying to get known, right? We're trying to, I guess, just like you say, like let other people know what is possible. Find some hope, get some help, and don't give up. So you're helping us get that message out. You're being amazingly helpful and supportive. So thank you.
Thank you. We're great for your help.
Make a Change Canada is a nonprofit organization, and like any other charity of its kind, it is run by a board of directors. The people that give so generously of their time and energy are Jan Wright, who is the chair, Dan Bauer, who is the vice chair. We have Lynn Moy as the secretary and treasurer, and Brad Steele and Bob Wright are directors. Tonight, we are lucky to have 3 of them joining us. So please welcome Jan Wright, Bob Wright, and Lynn Moy. Yes. Welcome, board members. It's wonderful you could all be here tonight. You're all doing such important work for this organization. Thank you for coming. I guess I'll start with you, Jan, and I'll ask you, how you got involved with Make a Change Canada.
I've been with Make a Change Canada from its inception in 2004, when Kay Ryan, along with Community Futures, started the organization. And when it went from Community Futures to the Canadian Society for Social Development, I became the chair, and I've been the chair ever since. And so I've become involved for a number of reasons, and you just saw a video that would explain why. This organization has been able to bring social programming combined with technology to many, many people who would not have had the opportunity to learn with support, to also start a business from their homes and not have to go out into the community if they didn't want to. And the program itself has evolved over the years. Both programs, IBDE and the Business Abilities program, have evolved into such spectacular programs. And I really appreciate the work that we've been doing with Selkirk College around the IBDE program. And I remember working in the beginning with a woman named Vi Kolesnikov, who was very much a part of bringing this partnership together as well. The Business Abilities program is so inspirational, because you see so many people that have so much talent that hasn't been recognized, and this gives them an opportunity to display that talent and find purpose in their lives. Being on a board like this is actually a gift to the board members, because it gives our life meaning and our life purpose as well. So I'm very, very excited about this event today, and I find it hard to believe we've been doing this for 10 years, but we have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll go to you next, Bob. And maybe you could tell us how you came to be part of Make a Change Canada and what this night means for you.
I like Jan, which is no relative of mine. We're not
Just a
related,
coincidence.
just to make that clear. I came on to the CSSD board back when it was still with Community Futures. I also was chair of Community Futures. We supported it, and because we had to take it national, it needed to get spun off into its own organization. And just like Jan, this has been just a wonderful organization to belong to for the last 10 years. We get to help people. We get to help people across Canada with disability. It's just been a wonderful organization, and I see it lasting much, much longer than that.
Thank you, Bob. Excellent. And Lynn, you have a very interesting story. We're going to hear more about that in a moment. But if you could tell us how you came to be on the board at Make a Change.
Okay, I was a former client when it was Canadian Society for Social Development, and I've been very successful after working with the program. And I got a phone call one day from Anne-Marie, and I was very pleasantly surprised that she asked me to be on the board. So I accepted. It was a thrill for me.
Excellent. And now you have something with you today. You want to tell the viewers about that?
I do. This is a script that's just been finished and copyrighted by myself and Calvin Lee, who's a magnificent scriptwriter. So we're all ready to sell it.
Excellent. We're going to hear more about Lynn's books in just a moment, but I'd like to, on behalf of the board members, just to remind you that tonight we are taking donations on our website. Go to makeachangecanada.com and please give generously, as CIBC will be backing us up dollar for dollar and matching your donation, so that $100 turns into $200 really quickly to help someone who really needs it. All right, we're going to see a little bit more about your story, Lynn. Roll the next video.
I'm here this afternoon with Lynn Mui, one of our past BA participants. When you came to the Business Abilities program, you had a business idea in mind. And what was that business idea, and what exactly were you looking for when you came to us?
Okay, I'll start at the beginning. I have worked for years with lawyers, and I got sick. And I've always had anxiety disorder and chronic depression, which have been very debilitating for me. But because I'm a stubborn person by nature, I have forced myself to do things that have been very, very difficult. But when I developed fibromyalgia, as well as everything else, it was just too overwhelming. I had chronic fatigue, and so I couldn't work full time anymore. I saw something on television about a woman writing a book and selling her story. So I wanted to do that, and I started writing down, because before I had become a legal secretary, I lived quite a tragic life. Anyways, I wanted to write my life story, so I started in about 1996. Struggled for years. It took me a long time. And when I finally got to the point where I thought I had a good manuscript, I needed a publisher. Well, I wrote to so many publishers, I got enough rejection letters back to wallpaper my kitchen. And so I thought, well, this isn't going anywhere. And then I found a on-demand publisher, which I understood was the way that a lot of people were going nowadays. So I needed funding. So I started looking around desperately for funding, and there was just nothing available. So I went to Community Futures in Trail, British Columbia. I was living there at the time. And I was sent to Canadian Society for Social Development, is what Make a Change Canada was called at that time. Now, there was no funding available, but I was offered the option of taking the Business Abilities course. Now, what that did for me was amazing. Because of the fact that I had anxiety disorder and chronic depression and all of these other things to drag around with me every day, the Business Ability program was the perfect thing to build my confidence. That's what I was lacking. I had enough business from working in the law office and bookkeeping and that sort of thing to be able to kind of do that, but I can't stress it enough that the one thing that was most important for me was the building up of my confidence. And Christine Weir, she a former business coach, my first business coach, was awesome with me, and she read my book, and then she wrote me an email in the middle of the night. I didn't get it till the morning. She said, "It's midnight and I just finished reading your book, and all I can say is wow." And I've got tears running down my cheeks. And that was so encouraging, so encouraging.
Well, let's see the first book that you came out with.
Okay.
The first one was called what?
Carousel. This book was the first part of my life story, and the subtitle is based on the true story of Elizabeth Burgess's addiction to men, alcohol, and abuse. Now that sounds a little racy, but it's I've recently found out from my doctor that I called it my man addiction, but according to my doctor, it's a love addiction. So I have all kinds of addictions on top of the anxiety disorder and everything else, but have had 31 years of sobriety, and I struggle every day with my addictions and with my anxiety and all these things.
Are there any other organizations that have worked along with you that have helped you along as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Alcoholics Anonymous,
Yeah.
big one, and a lot of counseling, different counselors, things like that. Yeah, you know what? I think that the first thing to admit when you have a problem is to admit that you have a problem.
Tell me, what gives you the greatest joy today? I mean, you've been through the books, you're still writing, you're still collaborating on the screenplay. If that ever turns into a movie, I mean, it's an entirely different scenario.
You know what? I have a dream. I've had a dream ever since the beginning. I'm going to be in Hollywood on Oscar night, and you're coming with me, Doug.
Oh, are you kidding?
No,
I'll wear a tuxedo for sure.
Sometimes I dream big, but you know what? I had the opportunity to have a drink, a pop, while he was having a beer, with the original drummer from CCR.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about my books and my stuff, and he said, follow your dream. Because he said, we started out in a garage, in a friend's garage with our instruments, and look at where we went.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm following my dream because I believe in it. I really believe in it. And this new little scriptwriter I've got, he is awesome, and he believes in it too. He said, we're going to have the best movie ever.
Terrific.
So we're going to do this.
So, any final insights or words of wisdom that you'd like to pass on to the audience that we've got with us today?
I think the most important thing is to learn to love yourself. I think that so many people suffer inwardly, privately, with their own demons of low self-esteem or struggles or the mind going around and round with negative thinking, like, gee, I wonder if they like me. Gee, I hope I didn't say something wrong. Gee, I hope, you know. And we need to embrace who we are, because each and every one of us, when you think about it, in a world full of over 7 billion people, there isn't two alike. We are unique with who we are as individuals. That's beautiful, and just take that and run with it.
Lynn is an inspiration. Yes, she is, isn't she? Not only to her fellow board members and the organization, but the people that read her books. Now, if you would like to order those books, you can go to Chapters or Amazon, or also to her publisher's website, which is authorhouse.com. When you get there, you want to search for her pen name, which is Kimberly Rose Dawson, and the names of her books are Carousel, Carousel: The Missing Years, and Carousel: The Relapse. So be sure to get one of those. Now, we are going to see two interviews from two very valued staff members of the Make a Change Canada team. First is Mary Alton, who is the Employment Case Manager and has been with Make a Change Canada since 2008. And also on this video is Anne-Marie Edgar, so please enjoy.
We're formerly known as the Canadian Society for Social Development, and we're now known as Make a Change Canada. The name came about because really people are afraid of change, but as an organization and as a team, we really feel that we need to embrace change and encourage that and encourage success in individuals.
Let's face it, change is inevitable, whether it be daily, weekly, yearly, the change is going to happen, and it's just what we can do with it. So I think it's going to be such an exciting time for us as team members of Make a Change Canada to see how the organization evolves and how we're able to reach out to more people and support them.
We're really evolving and truly recognizing that it takes numerous organizations teaming together to really support individuals to make a change in their life that's very positive. It's really about all the support that we can give. We've had some amazing success stories where we've been able to work together with agencies in our community, and it's not about one agency being the go-to and providing all the support. It's really about a number of organizations being able to come together and each offer a level of support to individuals in the programs, and that's the real beauty of the expansion of Make a Change Canada, is that we will be able to broaden our level of support that we can provide to clients in our programs, and we will also allow more people to participate in our programs that otherwise would not have had the opportunity to engage in an educational program of this nature. We have a plan to double the size of our IBDE Web Essentials and Web Advanced program so that we will have 2 intakes per year. The value of the program is really being demonstrated in that it's a specialized program that supports people who are facing difficult challenges in their lives. And this support allows them to be very successful and graduate from the program and move on with a career that they're going to enjoy, and give them a chance to have some hope for the future and the opportunity to earn a living for themselves and their families. As a part of our guiding principles at Make a Change Canada, we truly believe that in our own lives we grow alongside our clients. So we are on a journey ourselves. That's really what strikes me about my time at Make a Change Canada.
So thrilled to have the opportunity to just share in this time with the organization. I've been here working for the organization for 8 years now, so it's just wonderful to see the changes, and thinking back to when I first started to now the things that we're doing and the things that we're really hoping to do as an organization. It's just absolutely exciting. It's amazing to see the diversity of staff that we've had, over the years, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to continue working with some of the original team members, but it's always wonderful to see some new people joining the team as well, and just bringing some fresh ideas, some fresh energy, and some different perspectives. One thing that we've always been blessed to have as an organization, it's really interesting, and just to be able to, on one level, really see the different services and the different things that we're offering to the community and to clients across Canada. It's wonderful for me to be able to experience both sides of that, but definitely seeing some of our clients who have started with one program and decide that we can continue to help them and support them in completing whatever it is that they need to achieve to move forward with their goals and to fulfill really what is a dream for many, to get back to some sustainable self-employment, to get into a work in an area that they're passionate about, and it's really just a wonderful thing. So whether clients come in and just decide some of our services are ideal for them, or if they would like to take as much as they can, it's just wonderful to see the excitement about being able to participate in the different programs and services we have. I think it's impossible not to be changed by working in this kind of field and to be working with people at the level that we do. And that's the biggest blessing of this journey in this type of job and career path. So definitely I've been impacted in so many ways because of all the different people that I've met, and to see where they've been in life, some of the extraordinary places they've been, some of the desperate things that they've had to face, and really sad and hard times, but also the joys, and just to see them still thriving and wanting to do more in their life.
Mary Alton is a strong believer in education's role in getting people back to work, and Anne-Marie sees bright things on the horizon for Make a Change Canada. Thank you everyone for your contributions thus far. We are now going to take a 15-minute intermission. For those at home, you can enjoy Vancouver Adapted Music Society's short documentary, The Strong Sessions.
If you're not exercising your creativity, then you may not be having fun, and you may not be enjoying life, and you may not really be, you may be suffering. But exercise those creative abilities, self-expression, etc., and life opens up, right?
To the beach and get some motion in. Oh my God, you are more beautiful than the morning.
My song is called Little House, Big World, Bahai Kubo, Malaking Mundo. It's in many languages. It's about a little house in a big world, and we're all part of that. It's fun to work with the boom booms. They did some wonderful harmonies. It's really exciting.
You are more beautiful than the morning. You are more beautiful than the morning.
Yeah. Sweet. Good job, boys and girls. There was a lot leading up to it, getting the artists together with each other and them going over the songs. We set up all the musicians so that anything could happen. We had our arsenal of instruments put in position so we could scramble to battle stations quickly. There, that's a fun song.
The best guitar in the world.
In a classic sense, like the old Stax Records days or Motown, where someone would say, and I want the horns to go bap, 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 and I want this to happen, and you just respond and try to give them what they wanted. And then next, Let's do it again. What is it?
So you just went candy shop.
Candy shop, get some more licks in the candy shop.
Yeah, a little 2-bar instrumental. Yeah, bring in Art.
Some of the people that expressed an interest had actually never been involved in music before.
Hey Art.
Hello, hello.
How you doing, man?
Hey Art.
And working with our collaborators, it just made the process that much easier.
What we're gonna do is be relentless and put this down in a structure, but you can be out there telling us, I don't think that's funky, dudes. It's not funky enough. You could be saying,
But only one.
I need a little more faith.
My teacher used to take us for a march around the block, but I'd always make a detour to the candy shop.
If you go back to my injury, I sat around for the next 2 or 3 years after this wheelchair thing, wondering what I was doing, where I was going, and what was the point of it. But after I kind of took up this artistic dare and started painting, I went all over the place with my ideas. And
when I started to put my heart into my life, I realized that with the writing is where the freedom is.
Right? So I'm digging the floor tom action in the verse.
Yeah, with Craig Northey and the voice is really cool, man. And to have Brian Adams, his drummer, playing with me, man, it was so huge, you know, like he's just so big, man. I was like, wow. You know?
Glenn David, like just a full-on rocker, and he is excited about his rock. We rocked it. It was awesome.
Being in that little cubby hole and having the microphone in front of me and seeing the band outside was absolutely phenomenal.
In the beginning, I took band class, at high school.
I had to practice at least an hour a day. This was with an accordion.
Started out with the trumpet and went to the string bass.
Playing classical music. I mean, playing William Tell Overture and Mozart and Strauss.
When I heard Jimi Hendrix, he kind of turned my ears around. So I think I was in grade 8 when I started my first band.
I remember in my grade 8 graduation, I got the courage to play my acoustic guitar at the dance.
After I had some operations on my legs that made it impossible to play the accordion over the summer. And I found a guitar.
But I lost the ability to play guitar, so I went to study computer music, and now I've been losing the ability to edit. So then I took up harmonica.
Something clicked because it was a more social instrument. You know, the accordion, I played in an accordion band, but that's like frogs getting together to mate or something.
It's wonderful composing, but it's, sitting and editing in the computer. Whereas harmonica, it's playing, so it's fun.
Due to my condition that I could not play, I really had to give up performing.
VAMS opens up that door for music, and you can really change people's lives actually, when you're involved in something and you're really stoked on a project or sports, whatever it might be, and for people to get into VAMS and write a song or get back on some drums or keyboard and learn some instruments, make some music, it's the best thing.
Actually, the greatest thing was kind of Jerry's energy the whole time, just like so happy and into this whole thing.
Yeah,
really inspiring.
Well, when you've listened to your song for over a year with just your own vocals going da na 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 na, and you get to finally hear it in the studio with a full rock band.
Woo! Warehouse. It was the place where this could happen, this kind of thing could happen. And the unique thing about the Warehouse first is that it exists. It's made by a musician, Brian Adams, who thought of all the things that studios weren't. And he put all these things in like sunlight, oxygen, space. And you go in there and you record and you don't think about anything but the music because everything in your environment is just right.
This building is a heritage building. It's one of the oldest buildings in Vancouver. Once upon a time, it was a sort of like a hardware and supply store. This would be in the 1850s. So they would come into Vancouver Harbor from Victoria, come here, get supplies or a boat or whatever, and then go back over to the mouth of the Fraser, and then go up as far as you could go beyond Hope, and then You know, this is gold mining history, you know. So this building is amazing.
People that I've seen here before but usually can only last short periods of time, stayed there the whole day. They didn't want to leave.
Because everybody's saying yes to everyone. Nobody's saying no. Everybody's got a good vibe. So it just worked and worked and worked. And I just keep looking at it because we're going away from these 2 days with most of what we have. And there's a lot of work to be done before the whole thing's finished.
Go ahead. What are we doing? Start at the top. 1, 2, 3.
You got me singing and a dancing and a laughing and a clapping and a skipping and a jumping, and I think I'm never gonna get enough of you. You're always standing by my side and never let a day go by that you don't make me feel a high and keep on loving me no matter what I seem to do.
VAMS is Vancouver Adaptive Music Society, and we have a studio at GF Strong, the rehab center.
And we came down, were interviewed, and qualified for the program.
And the next day I got a call and he says, "You're in, man. You're fantastic. You're a resident rocker."
I look forward to hitting the studios every week and getting a tune going on. It's just it's a really wicked program.
Well, Dave and Sam started VAMS 25 years ago.
Sam and I met in 1985 or so, and I remember going for a ride on a Greyhound bus with him, or something like that, that had a compartment for people in wheelchairs behind the rear wheel. But we struck up a pretty quick friendship, and we had a lot of things in common, and we'd both been musicians before our injuries, and began to talk about the idea of developing a society that could support and facilitate access to musical expression for people with disabilities, including ourselves.
Oh, you're gonna love this one.
Oh, I took her out for dinner 'cause I thought she was a winner. Name was Mary.
Well, that sounds good.
Before my injury, music was everything. And then become a quadriplegic, and you got all these pressures and stresses and, you know, confusion and frustration. Then you need music more than ever. And that is the time when you look at the keyboard and you know, what do I do with these?
She said she needed loving, that she'd been through several dozen. I got weary.
And then what happened?
I think what happened was we came around at the time MIDI came, and we grabbed it and maxed it out technology-wise. There was no model we had, there was no example. You know, quadriplegics playing music, you know, that's wasn't really anything in anybody's vocabulary or anybody's, you know, reality.
That's not so good.
You could tell you had 4 guys who just loved music, so we just kept going down the road with it, and then it led to you know, doing live performances, and we were like the performance band of the Vancouver Adaptive Music Society. Yeah, I think you know, we were looking at a period when we were still at a threshold of people accepting others that had disabilities. I should say accepting, it's just that awkward about being around people with disabilities.
I think that was Brentwood Mall, as I recall.
Yeah, exactly.
People would be, we were playing, I think I remember, in front of a shoe store, and people were just window shopping. We were just another window in a way. People were just kind of like, oh yeah, moving on, you know.
We were beside the mannequins, and we were these quadriplegics playing music, you know, oh well, just another gimmick.
They didn't quite know what to do with us, you know. You know, I think that's part of the whole purpose of what we were doing, was to get out there, you know, and actually show people that we can play music, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be playing music. Not that we're, you know, necessarily great musicians, given the way we adapted, and we were just learning this new approach to music, really.
Sam was a great chatter during throughout songs, so he found funny ways of, introducing us as the band. And I think he said, we're an all-disabled band, and we only let able-bodied guys in if they have something wrong with them, and these two guys are morally disabled. So I think that was his angle, right? Yeah, it's too bad Sam won in politics and left music. He made a great musician and wrote some really great songs.
I think for a number of years I tried to put a lot of effort into writing my own material, doing my own thing, kind of not wanting anybody's help, wanting to prove something. And the more time I spend working with other people, the more time I realize that that's really where the kick is, to watch somebody else's face light up and see that they can do something, they can write something, they can...
Well, if I didn't have this program, I would just be at home playing video games all day with nothing else to do. So the guitar gives me more stuff to work on for the future as a career. Anything's possible if you try and work at it.
Yeah, the song is really taking on like a really big, legendary, sweeping vibe to it, yeah. I think he's excited about it.
For the first time in my life, found a purpose, my peace of mind, and I know I'm gonna be alright. For the first time in my life, found a purpose, my peace of mind, and I know
with the odds and all the other bands that we have, this album's going to be phenomenal, let alone that evening.
Hello, hooray, let the show begin. I've been ready. Hello.
It's been wonderful to collaborate with the musicians in town and the videographers like yourself, and it's a great place, and I'd like to just see it continue.
I had a spinal cord injury when I was 17 years old, so it was a major life transition for myself and for my family. But as I got into school and I started studying psychology at the university, I really fell in love with it. That's when I connected with Make a Change Canada, and they helped me to turn that passion into a career. And now I'm really happy as a registered psychologist helping others.
Make a Change Canada is an accredited non-profit organization with charitable status. Find out how they may be able to empower you with your employment challenges.
Providing my special needs son with the care he needed made it impossible to work outside the home. I felt like I had no choices. Make a Change Canada gave me the opportunity I needed to grow my marketing business with their online training and guidance. Now, I run Gale Force Marketing while still being able to be a full-time parent to my son and provide him with the care he needs. They helped make it possible.
Make a Change Canada is an accredited non-profit organization with charitable status. Find out how they may be able to empower you with your employment challenges.
Some information about the services that Make a Change Canada offers, or perhaps you'd like to donate tonight, again, please go to our website at makeachangecanada.com. CIBC will be matching your donations tonight up to a value of $2,500. So please give generously this evening. Now, the Kootenay Initiatives Program, also known as the KIP Group, is based out of Cranbrook, BC, and with the help of Community Futures, the Interior Health Authority, and their devoted counselors, Doris and Val, they have been working hard to open the doors of their new business, the Reclaim Outlet, this November. They will be refurbishing construction goods such as sinks, doors, and cabinetry, and sell those to the public. Now, all 6 members of the KIP Group have been participants in the online Business Abilities program that is offered by Make a Change Canada. This program offers support and guidance to help people get their business dreams right into making those a reality. So let's see how the KIP Group is getting it done.
We're here in beautiful downtown Cranbrook, the heart of the Canadian Rockies, or the gateway anyways. We're with the KIP Group. I mean, I call you guys the Kipsters. I give you that millennium flair. So the Kootenay Initiative program, and I know you went through all the machinations of how we're going to create a business, how we're going to have some self-worth, how we're going to give back. Dustin, let's talk a little bit about how we started this program and actually even the name, Reclaim Outlet.
Well, we worked for about since August last year with it. And then we've been studying online from the Business Abilities and giving it a good go at it. We've put about 6 solid months of doing modules from the worksheets, and we really enjoyed the program and it's working very well.
The Reclaim Outlet, we will be bringing, people will be dropping things off for us, and it's Reclaim, it's building supplies and tools. And I'm interested in refurbishing of the tools and the building supplies as they come in. We'll be working hard to make it sell.
And you want to tell us a little bit about the evolution of how things have taken place?
Well, we run 3 days a week. Doris and myself run a recycling program. And what that is there's 25 members that work, but they only work 1 shift a week. And they're only able to get $120 a month extra.
Yeah.
So over the years that we've been doing this, several of the participants, the workers came to us and was saying, like, can we get some more hours? Can we get some more shifts? Is there anything else that we can do than what we're already doing? And so it's sort of, I was looking at it and thinking, okay, how can we do it? Well, with the recycling, there wasn't really a possibility maybe of getting a extra shift a month, and that was about it. So I went to Ruth and Donnelly and said, I think there's some people that would be interested in running their own business. Can we look at something like this? So we started, we just put a notice out to everybody and said, anybody interested in running their own business, come down for an information meeting. We got about 12 people turned out, and with talking with them and everything, we started doing a weekly meeting, and then tried to decide what kind of business they wanted to get into. And so it basically evolved from there, and we've got 6 members that have been with us basically from the beginning. Justin came on shortly after we had started, but the other 5 have been with us from the beginning, and they've worked hard, and we learned about the business abilities course, and where we differ is from somebody starting their own business is because we are a group and not just individual or partnership. There's different things that you have to deal with there, and then because we're starting off as a social enterprise before they go into their own business, that brings in a whole set of other things. So that's why we've been really glad to have the help of the Business Abilities and Will from the Basin Advisory Program, because we have a whole set of different things that we're looking at than just starting our own business like an individual would do.
I believe it all stemmed out of some meetings that we have for staff where we discuss a psychosocial rehab model, and that's creating an environment for people, giving them autonomy and the ability to make their own choices and move forward in their lives. And I think this whole situation has kind of stemmed from that original meeting.
Well, my contributions really have been minimal. I've had a couple of meetings with the principals and supplied a little bit of input. I was impressed when I sat down with the group as to how far along they were and how prepared they were. And the Business Abilities Program was doing a lot of the stuff that I would do, unfortunately much better. So if there's any opportunity for us to assist, I think it's probably just in local area, to assist in local area marketing, any local area research that needs to be done. Basically anywhere we can step in and fill the void, we will.
The key to the whole program is just the dynamics of being able to interact with the collective group, use the worksheets and the webinars as models, and at the same time get the feedback from the local community, what the business is all about, and integrate that together to make it a working business model so it's sustainable, long-term. It gives everyone an opportunity to create a vocation, have the self-worth, and interact with the community in a really positive way, and have a brand that people here will actually embrace, and we'll start to get the feedback, and hopefully with the Community Futures Liaison, it'll be a nice network.
I just have to say I'm very proud of the guys that created the business group. They came a long way, they put lots of effort in it, lots of work, and I'm really happy that they take this adventure on and do it. Yeah.
I just want to say the course was very, how would you put it, in many ways, not just beneficial, but very widespread and open, and it was just a positive thing to go through, and I'm really glad I took part in it, and it was definitely a journey I'd want to take again if I was ever to start a business or whatever. Yeah, it was great. Thanks.
Angus Graham is the president of Selkirk College, and his contribution to this community's education is immeasurable. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Angus Graham. Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Everyone at Make a Change Canada really appreciates you taking the time to talk to us.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. Now, obviously education is important to you, and I just wonder how you came to be the president of this established college.
Oh,
What's
wow.
your journey?
How much time have we got?
Let's do it. As much time as you want.
Well, this is my 24th year with the college, and
Amazing.
I started as an instructor in one of the programs, and just got hooked on to teaching and education and learning, and had a wonderful opportunity in 12 years as a teacher to see how learning transforms lives and inspires the rest of us when that happens. And so taking on other jobs in the institution and coming into the current role that I have has just all been about seeing Selkirk work with partners like Make a Change Canada to see lives transformed and inspired for learning and life and success.
That's wonderful. Seems like it's been a very organic journey. Now, I understand that the Internet Business Development for Entrepreneurs program is a Selkirk programming. Could you explain a little bit more how that came to be?
Well, it's great to be celebrating 10 years of a partnership with Make a Change Canada, and before that, CSSD. And it's been, I was there when the very first question came to us, could we work on this with you? And we were really excited at that opportunity because at the time online learning environments were just really starting to take off.
Of course.
And they had some great ideas at Make a Change, and we were really wanting to get involved. And one of the beautiful things about the program is that it's online, so it's at distance, but it's addressing what I would say learning differences and diverse learning, and that's what we really need to be doing more of it in the colleges and in the system. So this has been a great 10-year partnership, and I was just talking to Anne-Marie at the break, and every spring Anne-Marie does a kind of a showcase of all the websites that some of the students have been developing for their businesses, and I always like to get involved and see what people have come up with. Sure. And it's very cool.
It is, isn't it? It's very, very inspiring.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Angus. Do you have any words of encouragement or sage advice to the IBDE students that you might want to give today?
Oh, sure. I just want to say that it's just like Lynn said, you're on a journey, and everyone's unique, and you will be successful because I've seen the success. And remember that you belong to something. You belong to a learning community, and you belong to our college, and you belong to Make a Change Canada, and you are in community with each other, and you'll get your learning goals realized. I'm sure of it.
Excellent. Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us today, Angus. We now have 4 very special staff videos coming to you. Please watch this.
In the beginning, when we were offering the program, we were essentially working in silos. Now we're working collectively. And we've got so many more tools now on the internet, things that we can acquire, things that we can access that weren't available then. And it's getting better all the time. We're going to have an awful lot more in the next 5 years.
You know, our team is small, we're intimate, we're very diverse. So, I mean, we've got, again, all ages, different backgrounds, different life stories, different experience in corporate, nonprofit, experience with small business. And I think when we come together, we leverage each other's strengths, we work for a common goal, and our common goal is the success of our clients. You know, that's what we're here for, to support our clients in their entrepreneurial journey.
We've managed to have a virtual organization and almost perhaps pull off the impossible in terms of building a culture, even though we're like building a company and team culture, even though we're online, which is usually the challenge when you have a virtual organization.
It's just a real sense of community, really positive community, and I mean, it's just been a great experience so far. You know, when you're in the program, you're learning business skills and there's modules and you're doing financials, but you're also growing as a person. You're gaining confidence. You're interacting with other program participants and your business coaches. You might even take a shot at public speaking, all these sorts of things. So you really grow professionally and personally. I've worked with some amazing clients that have inspired me. And I'm telling you, when I started my business, I was nervous, I was scared, I still am. I still am nervous to get up and talk in front of a group of people. I'm still nervous to put myself out there. And it is a source of inspiration when I think of my clients that have done that. I think about it and I think, you know what, just do it, just put yourself out there. And I think they are a source of inspiration for me. I think the moment when they've completed the business plan and they take that first step in putting themselves out there and selling their product or service is, I don't know, it's just a huge win for me, and it's a great feeling that I get when I see that happen. And to me, that's the magic in the BA program.
I'm based in Vancouver, and I've also worked with IBDE from different locations, such as Montreal, for example, on various occasions. Sure. My main purpose in IBDE is delivery of most, if not all, of the main programs, or courses rather, which are 4 in total at the moment. An Intro to PHP course, Advanced PHP, and then a Search Engine Optimization course, as well as a Blogging for Business course. Yeah, one of the things is I like the virtual aspect of it. Another thing is I like web programming. I mean, over time now I have colleagues who I know and I like working with as well. So I think that combination, and again, the virtual part of it gives some flexibility as well.
I'm actually a serial entrepreneur. I've been involved in a lot of different businesses. I've been with Fortune 500 companies, I've been in startups, I've been in sports technology businesses, I've been into environmental business, recycling businesses, construction businesses, just a myriad of different ones, and I draw on those experiences to give advice to the particular clients on my own experiences. Well, the practical side of the advice you give them is based on your experience, and when you've been in business for quite some time, you can draw on that experience to actually nurture and give the clients your opinion. Now that the clients are evolving their business and getting to a level where they can see income come in, now the challenges are to help them, guide them through their business and help them grow their business, which is kind of the next stage of the evolution for business abilities. I think it's satisfying from a standpoint that for me it's kind of a give back thing with the clients. One of the clients now is giving back to our organization. So every product she sells, she makes a small donation to our organization. That to me is really fulfilling.
Sometimes there are barriers that will prevent them from moving forward, and those barriers seem absolutely enormous and insurmountable in their world. And we're going to be able to do something to assist them in removing some of those barriers. We may not remove all of them completely, but we can ease it somewhat. We're there, we're compassionate, we want you to be successful in whatever endeavor it is that you want to undertake, but we're going to try to break some of the barriers down so that you will be successful. We're with them along the way, and that's really important for us, and that's why I think we've been successful. We've been successful because there's continuity for the client after they've created the business plan and they've established the business, and the quality of the business coaching that we have, I think, is outstanding. I don't think any other organization in Canada can compare with what we offer at this point. We've been working with many people over the years, and it's changed me. It's made me a more compassionate individual. It's made me more reflective on the importance of my giving back to the community, and this is what I'm doing now.
Joan Blood of Racing Tea Quilts is a Make a Change Canada success story. Now, if you would join me in watching this next film, where Joan is met by Dan Calvary of Quintex Entertainment in her home in Lacombe, Alberta, where he went out of his way to interview her.
I'm originally from Nova Scotia, and we moved to Alberta in 2013 for work for my husband. And I wanted something else to do, but I knew that working in a regular place wouldn't be considered due to my medical disability. I have chronic Crohn's disease, I'm a diabetic, I have psoriasis, I have a hearing impairment, and I have a tremor that's in my hands. So working in anything but home would be vital to me. So I knew Jim Logie before when I lived in Nova Scotia, and I asked if I could be back on the program Make a Change Canada, so I could start a new business. We decided that because I love sewing, we came up with a business name, and the business name is Racing Tea Quilts. Make a Change Canada has helped me put the business together with all the business aspects. We did business cards, he helped me with a logo, all my design work. He showed me how he had a quilt already done, and I just followed suit. The quilts are made from t-shirts, and I cut out each one separately. So each t-shirt, you give me the t-shirts, I'll wash the t-shirts, I dry them, I put them, I cut them out to my design. So most of the quilts are actually just t-shirts. Most of the quilts are done for runners, athletes. I go to different triathlons and I hand out my business cards. I'm looking for people to send me their t-shirts, and the quilts made from your t-shirts, not mine. I'm not actually doing a running t-shirt at the moment. It's for Christmas stockings, and it's one from Frozen. And each of the designs on the front, the logo is all stitched, so everything pops out. Sometimes I'm right on line when I'm sewing, but my hands really shake. And sometimes it's off a little bit. It's one of a kind, so it doesn't really matter. My biggest problem is if I have to change the thread and rethread that needle, because both my hands shake, and sometimes it takes 20 to 30 minutes before I can actually thread that needle without any help. My quality of life is improved because I can work from home, I don't have to go out. So if my psoriasis bothers me, I can wear shorts. I don't have to worry about putting pants on or dressing up or whatever. I always enjoyed sewing, and I've done it over the past years, for everything from ball gowns right through to vases and bowls out of fabric. So I've always returned back to sewing, and Make Change Canada has given me this opportunity to put Racing Tea Quilts into a reliable business. Thank you.
Please welcome Doug Tardiff. Doug, now you are just such an incredible part of Make a Change Canada. Tell us about your work with them.
My work with Make a Change Canada has evolved from first becoming a business coach about 8 years ago, and eventually taking on the position of a team leader. And that's the most exciting part of my job. I think you saw in the video earlier that we have a remarkable team, but we've got absolutely terrific business coaching staff. Jim Logie and Chantal Orr are the finest team members I've ever worked with in a long, long time, and I really appreciate what they do with the program.
That's so lovely to hear, Doug, to give other people such nice credit. Now, tell me, we're going to watch this next video, and Mark Ross was a client of yours, correct?
That's correct. A number of years ago, I think it was about 5 years ago, Mark Ross asked to see whether he was inquiring whether or not he could get into the program. And we went through the usual preliminaries of finding out exactly what he wanted to accomplish, etc. And the thing that hit me right from the very beginning was that he was a quadriplegic. Now, I'd done an awful lot of work with the Canadian Paraplegic Association over the years in fundraising and things of that nature. So I was well aware of the challenges that someone as a paraplegic would face.
Of course.
But he was a young man. He was in his teens, and he had taken a dive in a river in France and had snapped his back, unfortunately, and he was a complete quadriplegic. And when he returned to Canada, he was taken back to the finest hospitals they could find to see if they could do anything with him. And he had a tremendous amount of support with his family and his friends. But I thought to myself, going in as a business coach, he must have gone through the dark gates of hell with this, realizing that he wouldn't be able to do all the things that he enjoyed doing. He was very active in sports, very, very active. And I had that discussion with him initially because I wanted to get to understand Mark more and find out how I would be able to help him. If he was very despondent, then I would have to bring him up and in order for him to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish. But what I found was a very passionate, a very eager individual to get on with his life. And it was almost a situation where he had accepted everything that had happened to him and was now moving on. That was over and done with. I'm going to get on with my life and I'm going to accomplish something great.
A very strong sense of fortitude.
Absolutely.
Perhaps. Yeah. Do you think this comes from his support network?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very important to have. It doesn't matter what you're going to do and who you are. You need a very strong support network around you in order to make things happen.
And you can find that through Make a Change Canada, correct?
Absolutely. Make a Change Canada is a wonderful place to get that kind of support and to make you aware of the fact that that type of support is necessary. Many programs will just say, yes, we're offering you a business program, we're offering you some IBDE, we're offering you some web design information. But our coaches are more compassionate. And they understand that you have to ignite that spark in the individual in order to get them moving. Because it's very difficult sometimes.
It adds just an extra layer of care to this kind of education, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yes. And so where did Mark then continue to go on his path?
He explored a number of things. He was looking at doing some music. He was doing some artwork. He actually did some film work as well. But he continued with his university education, got his degree, got his master's, and eventually got his PhD, and he's now a practicing psychologist.
What an incredible story.
So he's Dr. Mark Ross. I really, I feel very honored to be able to speak about Dr. Ross. Pardon me. I didn't think I was going to get emotional about this.
You've invested so much time and energy, and your heart's part of the project, really.
Yeah, and
most understandable.
He was a wonderful client, and I enjoyed every moment with him.
I think what Doug is showing here emotionally just shows how invested that the people at Make a Change Canada are with their clients, and I think that's really beautiful, Doug.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, excellent. Well, you've done so much to make this night. I wonder about you telling us a little bit more about the organization and what fuels you every day to get the job done.
I guess the thing that fuels me every day is that we know as individuals, regardless of whether we're in a program or we're employed or self-employed, it doesn't matter. You've got to get up every morning, get yourself motivated, and get on with what you want to do. And if you feel passionately about what you want to do, you will accomplish great things because you're not working anymore. Work is usually pictured as something that's drudgery, something that you have to do in order to make money. But you know, I've been the most fortunate guy in my life that I can think of. I've never had a day's work because I've always been very passionate and happy about everything that I've ever done. And so it seems to me that every morning I would get up and I could do exactly as I wanted to do. And it was a wonderful thing. So when I work with the clients at Make a Change, I try to instill that passion. I try to get them to understand that having your own business is going to change you, but it's going to change you in ways that you don't understand. It's going to change your entire outlook in all other aspects of life as well. It's going to change your social life. It's going to change your relationships with other individuals, and you're going to be more committed, and you're going to be more passionate about everything that you're going to do.
That's such wonderful words of wisdom. Thanks so much for sharing all of that with us, Doug. It's so incredible, the kind of people that are making a change in others' lives. And it's just triple-fold how this is rolling into such a beautiful thing. People, you helping people make a change, it changing you. It's so cyclical, isn't it?
Oh, it really is.
Yes. Well, we're going to see another video now. You had the opportunity to go to and interview Brent Running, who, again, is another success story, someone starting their own business with Make a Change Canada. And you Skype interviewed him, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So let's just roll that video. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. This video is about Brent Running.
All right, we're here this morning with Brent Running, a longtime member of the Business Abilities Program, graduated at one time about 3 years ago with a business that he thought might take off, something that was very interesting. Good morning, Brent. How are you today?
Oh, so far, all right. I think any morning I wake up is off to a good start.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I was just in the introduction talking a little bit about that business that you started off initially with us in the Business Abilities Program. Can you tell us a little bit about what that business was about?
Well, basically, I was taking older technology like videotape, 8mm film, whatnot, 35mm slides, and transferring them to newer media like DVDs, flash drives, and whatnot, so that people's old memories don't get destroyed and lost.
Yeah. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because you got into this about 3 years ago, let's say, and the technology has already changed again, hasn't it?
Oh, it's constantly changing. That's the thing, is even DVDs are outdated now. Blu-ray will be on its way out before long.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the solid state drives they have now, people, think, well, this is too slow now. The solid state's really fast.
Yeah.
I can just access.
One of the things that I guess you noticed in setting up that company initially was that there might be demand for that kind of service, but the pricing was difficult, wasn't it?
It's hard to find that balance between cheating the customer and cheating yourself.
Exactly. And there are, even today, people who are finding it difficult to price it appropriately. The sad part, though, Brent, is that there are an awful lot of memories out there in old media type that are just going to disappear from the face of the earth.
My thought along one line was, photo albums, which are pretty much disappearing now with all the digital photography.
Yeah.
But, grandma's photo albums are sitting there. Say you have a flood like happened in Toronto a while back. All those, memories get destroyed or lost. If you digitize them, have them on some other form of media, you can make copies for all the grandkids, and if the originals get destroyed, at least you still have a backup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you didn't really remain in that business an awful long time, did you?
Well, it was difficult to get the word out, get people excited about it, at a price that they're, going to be excited about. I had a few clients come and they liked the work I did for them, but there wasn't enough for me to make a living at it.
Yeah. So then you moved on and you tried a couple of other things. Now, I noticed in the background you've got several paintings up on the wall, and I know that they are yours.
Yes.
Because you're an artist as well. And you didn't really think that you might have a career as an artist, but you've been somewhat successful at it, haven't you?
Well, I enjoy it. At one time, I was painting mainly just to give them as gifts for people. And then I sat down one day and realized I didn't have any of my own paintings. So I started painting them and putting them up on the walls, and now I've pretty much run out of wall space.
You did
stacked up here and there.
Yeah, I know the feeling. You did a mural at one point in time, didn't you?
I was going to, but then the lady never got back to me.
Oh, that's too bad. Because that sounded like an interesting project.
I was all gung ho. I had it designed out, and whatever happened, she didn't feel she had the money, or I have no idea. I tried contacting her, but she just never responded.
Yeah. Now, throughout this journey that you've taken through your technology phase and the art phase, BA, the Business Abilities Program, has stuck along with you. We've been encouraging you. We've been trying to find the right fit that would work well for you. And we've suddenly morphed into something entirely different one more time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the business that you're currently in? And this one has been successful. I'm very impressed with what you've been doing.
I'm starting to do my own films now. It's not a complete outtake, off the shoulder type thing. For years, from around 1999, I started filming plays that I was in, and which is a completely different thing than doing a movie, because
you
have no real control over anything.
Yeah.
And I did my first one in 1999 using a few VCRs and the remote controls to edit them together. And now I'm working on, a very, very powerful computer system with software that lets me do things I couldn't have even dreamed about back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're very fortunate to, have the opportunity to do that. So tell us about the current project. You've got one that you've gone through the filming of and give us the name and tell us where it's at.
Yeah, I just finished filming a short film called Teacher's Lessons. That'll be released on YouTube on September 18th, a week from tomorrow, in fact.
Coming right up. Yeah, that'll be great.
And I have actually 2 or 3 scripts in development right now. I have one that's ready to film in November called Wish Phone, where a young lady gets her new cell phone and sees an app on there called Genie of the Lamp, and she presses it, and a genie appears, and after a little discussion, finds out that she can text her wishes to him to save trouble and time, if she's
lovely.
in public.
Yeah.
However, autocorrect messes up a lot of her wishes. And
that sounds like an intriguing plot.
And a script that I'm almost finished now, that I'm hoping to do next, probably April or May. It tentatively titled "The Cat Did It."
Okay.
It started out as a comedy. It's morphed into more of a drama type comedy, and it's a little hard to describe.
Oh, that's okay. Listen, I guess the thing is, you found something now that you really love doing, haven't you?
Oh, on Teacher's Lessons, I wrote it, directed it, acted in it, and edited it.
Yeah. So this is a work of passion and love.
It has to be. Otherwise, I have watched that film so many times in the last month and a half, I felt like my eyes were going to start bleeding.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Now that you're in the film business and you've got one under your belt and it's going to be up and shown, and we're going to show a clip from your film at some point in time during the course of this interview. So we'll just tease the audience a little bit with that. You will now become eligible for some grant money, won't you, from the area?
There's the Ontario Arts Council has some grants for emerging artists, and I couldn't apply for it before because you have to have at least one film under your belt before they consider you emerging.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I'm putting together the application for that. my biggest problem is figuring out the budget for
Yeah.
a film project like that.
You stick with me in the BA program because I've got some wonderful spreadsheets with how to do the budgets, how to figure everything out that we've been through several times ourselves.
Hopefully, if I can get a grant, then I'll actually have a budget for that film, and actually be able to pay my actors.
Yeah, that would be nice. The actors like to eat every now and then.
Yeah, well, you get more people at auditions when you tell them there's some money involved.
Yeah, that's true too. You're right about that. You know, your association with Business Abilities, what do you think over the years? Has it been a good association for you? Has it been useful for you in what you've been trying to do?
Oh, you taught me a lot over the years, especially, going through the course. Some things that I might have taken for granted, I learned weren't quite the way I thought they were.
Mhm.
It helped me, frame things in my own mind in a way that I could understand them better.
Yeah, it's nice having a structure that you can work under, isn't it? Because as an artist, you tend to be all over the map sometimes, right?
Indeed, I'll sometimes jump from one project to the next. Like I started writing a script, which it was an original idea inspired by the Portrait of Dorian Gray story,
right?
Where it's sort of a sequel to it.
Yes.
With a young lady just finishes watching the movie and thinks to herself, "Gee, I wish I could make that kind of a deal," and it goes on from there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I suddenly got the idea for this comedy and set the Dorian Gray story aside, and I'm on page 113 of the first draft of this script now.
Good Lord. That's a lot of dialogue to get under your belt. And you have to have a particular skill to be able to write that kind of dialogue. My business partner was able to do that very well. I can write a story, but I can't write dialogue in a script. So I would turn everything over to her, and that's a particular talent to be able to do that.
What I tend to do is figure out the characters, try to give them a bit of a personality, and then I put them into situations and see what they do.
Yeah.
It's like, in my head, say, okay, well, this person, they're going to react this way, and, let it go from there. And then, to me, acting, whether it's on stage or in front of the camera, comes down to 3 words. Don't act, react.
You're absolutely right.
It's all a series of reactions. Something happens and this person reacts to it. Yeah. And then as a result of their reaction, these people react. And then, it goes on from there as a series of reactions.
Well, you're pretty excited about, and so are we, about the fact that you've got the film out of the way. It's up on IMDb, the Bible of the industry, which is nice to have your name, especially in IMDb.
I know. I wanted to put our poster up on there, but apparently it costs $35 just to put your poster up. And on a no-budget film that isn't going to be bringing in any money, it's just not the...
Yeah. So is this, the movie is going to be released on YouTube on September the 18th. It's going to be available to everyone. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's completely open to everyone. Anyone that goes there can view it.
Is it on your channel, or did they just have to type in?
It's on my channel, Brent Running.
Okay.
And technically it's there now, but it's unlisted, so it doesn't show up in my channel listing. Which reminds me, I should clear out some of my old stuff out of there.
Yeah, if you're going to have access to the public, you better
I have
some of the older stuff. You're right.
Well, I have a couple teasers I made for a film I was trying to do about 3 or 4 years ago that are still in there, and I look at them now and I'm rather embarrassed by them.
Okay. I guess the other thing that we will want to know is we're going to show a little clip here of the film, and I think the 67-second one that you identified
Yes.
to me is the one we're going to use. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see, and then we can play the clip.
Well, this is one of the teacher's lessons that she's teaching me on manipulation and deceit. And she poses a question to me and tries gauging my answer to it. And then it goes from there.
Okay, terrific.
Let me ask you something. Are you religious or atheistic?
Guess you'd say I'm spiritual. I don't really prescribe to any current organized religions.
I see. I give you two choices and you answer me with a third.
Neither of your choices really fit my situation.
There have been many others sitting where you are now. None of them have made it through my lesson. Most of them are too dense, not intelligent enough to comprehend my lessons. Or maybe I'm just not a very good teacher.
Oh, don't say that. I'm sure you're a wonderful teacher, just not everyone is a good student, you know.
Oh, I saw that. You think you can turn things around. Well, dear boy, I think it's time to move on to my next lesson.
It's been wonderful chatting with you. Have you got any final words, things that you'd like to say? We're going to be playing this video at our 10th anniversary for our organization on October the 8th across Canada. And you've been one of our long-term members. We're very happy to see that you're doing something that you love passionately and that you're enjoying some success at.
Well, I think if there's anything I'd want to tell people, it's no matter what age you are, if you have something that you want to get done, do it. It's not going to hurt you. I mean, the way I look at it is right now I'm 57. In 10 years, whether I do this film thing or not, I'm still going to be 67. So why not try? People say, "Oh, I'm too old, to start something new." Well, try, you're going to get older regardless. Go ahead and do it. You talk to old people and the one thing they always say is the main thing they regret is the things they didn't do.
That's right. You know what I call it, Brent? It's the shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
I should have done something. I could have done something. I would have done something.
Yeah.
And you can spend your entire senior citizen years or your entire life doing coulda, woulda, shoulda, and it's not a good place to be.
I mean, looking back on my life, sure, there's a few things I might have done differently, but sometimes, if you eliminate some of the hardships that you had when you were younger, it might affect the character of who you are now.
That's correct. You're right. Well, listen, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you for participating in this celebration of our organization, Make a Change. And Brent, we're going to be in touch. We're going to make sure that everyone knows where to get access to your film. And I hope there's an awful lot of comments out there and that people will enjoy what they're seeing. And we look forward to more films from you.
Well, I'm both looking forward and dreading some of the comments because I know there's going to be some people out there who have their doubts and their disses.
There's always a dissenting voice.
No matter what. I always tell people, no matter what you do, someone is not going to like it.
That's right.
So
you're right.
Do what you feel is right.
Absolutely. Okay, good talking to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
evening. We've had so much amazing content, and we want to thank everyone for joining us for this very special 10-year extravaganza. I will remind you one last time to please go to the website if you'd like to donate tonight. Go to makeachangecanada.com, and tonight CIBC will be matching all your donations, so please give freely and help someone make a change. Anne-Marie?
Thank you so much, Jenna.
Oh, my
Thank
pleasure.
You for such a fabulous evening.
Oh, my pleasure.
At this point, I would like to send out some thank yous to an awful lengthy list of people who have helped to bring this to reality. It really does take an army to put something like this together. First of all, I really want to thank the video participants. This would not have been possible without you. And for everyone for sharing their stories, and really for all participants for coming to our organization and for participating in our programs. Thank you. I want to thank all our volunteers. We've had volunteers working on this project from all across Canada beginning in February 2015. So we've been working for an awful long time together, and it's been a really nice project for sure. I want to thank all of our staff. Our staff really were instrumental in getting this whole video part of everything going. They just went out and they just started filming people. I mean, it was really neat to see happen. Our board of directors, I want to thank just for all being here. It's been a fabulous opportunity to get together, but for your dedication to this organization and our clients as well. I want to thank our partners and our supporters. Now, in particular, I want to thank Selkirk College for providing this wonderful venue for us to use tonight and for being a part of our celebration. I want to thank the students for being involved in this production. And I also want to recognize CIBC, particularly the staff at the CIBC Wood Gundy office, for they were so instrumental in helping to get a donation for our organization together. Thank you. I would also like to thank the local community. It's been really nice to have this event and get out and talk to people in the local community and see all the interest that's being generated. Finally, I want to thank everyone in the audience as well and watching from home. Thank you so much for joining in this celebration. Finally, I want to thank Generator for being our gracious and delightful host of this event. Aww. And Shane Hainsworth as well. This would never have materialized without you. The technical end of things has been very detailed. And thank you so much. You wrote the script, and it's been lovely. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a great pleasure to be a part of it, and it's such a wonderful organization. I am so happy to help make a change. Making a change in your life is easier when you know you have support, so reach out to Make a Change Canada and know that there are people here that really do care. From everyone at Make a Change Canada, we wish you much success in all that you do. I'm Generator. Be good to each other. Good night.
Good night.
Well, I've been all around this big old world, but I've never seen a place where the trees stand so proud against the sky and the waters which about us surrounding. Well, there's room enough to breathe. I'll put you in a sail that evening.